If you think the world's biggest soap operas feature family mysteries, that's because you don't know the Peppa Pig family. Do you know all the secrets the pig family hides? One of the biggest mysteries involving the pig family is starting to get attention on the internet, and it all revolves around one name, Eevee. That's right. Even before Peppa's new little sister was born, this name was already appearing in the series. But no one had any idea who the first Eevee was. Who could she be after all? The newborn baby is named Eevee Pig, and many people thought the parents chose that name just because it sounded pretty. But it seems the story is much deeper than that. To begin with, the name Eevee means life. And keep that meaning in mind, because it could be very important. In addition, it was revealed that Mummy Pig wanted to pay tribute to a figure from the family's past, her great-aunt, named Eevie, who lived many years ago. During an interview the pig family gave on the Good Morning Britain show, an image caught the fans' attention. It was an old photo of this mysterious Aunt Eevee, wearing a long dress, shiny jewelry, and an air of royalty. She even looked like a princess. Could she have been someone important after all? There are indications that she was a very present person in Mummy Pig's childhood, and perhaps even a friend of Madame Gazelle and her husband. The part that no one knows yet is whether Aunt Eevee was ever a student of Peppa's teacher. But one thing is for sure, everything indicates that this woman played a significant role in Mummy Pig's life, and who knows, even in the history of England. We're going to talk about this and other mysteries today. So get comfortable and subscribe to the channel, because another zigzag video is starting now. If you look for the news that came out on the day Eevee Pig was born, you'll notice some very curious clues that she might, in fact, be a princess. On May 20th, 2025, practically all British TV channels reported the birth of the new piglet. And the strangest thing was how it happened, with a royal messenger announcing the news in the streets of London. The question is, why use a royal family messenger to announce the birth of Mummy Pig's daughter? Soon after, another surprise came. Eevee's birth happened at St. Mary's Hospital, the same place where the princes of England were born. Coincidence? Highly unlikely. And as if that weren't enough, on the same day, an official coat of arms for the pig family was revealed. That's right, a coat of arms. Only very influential families have a symbol like that. And look at the details. A dinosaur representing George, Teddy the bear in Peppa's place, a muddy puddle, and a little duck. The same one that appears on the character's official website. Now everything starts to make sense, right? That old photo of Aunt Eevee dressed as a princess wasn't just aesthetic. She probably was part of the royal family. And the new baby in the house, who received the same name, was chosen to continue that legacy. But then the question remains, why would Eevee be the future queen if Peppa is the older sister? That's another unanswered mystery. But it could be that Peppa chose to follow another path, perhaps continuing as the television star everyone already knows. Have you noticed something different on Eevee's face? The spot on her cheek looks like a heart, which is already noticeable, because no one else in the pig family has that. But the detail becomes even more curious when we compare the two sides of her face. On the left side, the mark indeed has the shape of a heart, but on the right side, it's a common circle, just like the other family members. And it's not just an impression. On Peppa's official website, there are two images of Eevee, one with the traditional round mark and another with the heart clearly visible. But what could this mean? One hypothesis is that this skin difference might indicate some health problem she will face later on. If that's the case, it would be very sad. But for now, all we can do is wait to see if a future episode will reveal the true reason behind the little heart on the new piglet's face. Do you think Peppa's little sister's days are numbered? Then comment #Eevee so we know your opinion. Did you notice that Eevee was born in the blink of an eye? Mummy Pig announced her pregnancy in February 2025. And in May, the piglet was already in the family's arms. A bit too fast, don't you think? Everyone knows that human babies take 9 months to be born. But in the case of piglets, the time can be much shorter, like about 3 months. But there's a detail. Peppa Pig characters aren't normal pigs. They're half human, half pig, and that makes everything stranger. Eevee's fast birth might not be just a coincidence. Some people think the series will explain this later on. After all, Eevee could be the future of the story, since besides Peppa's family, there are no other piglets around. But what do you think about all this? Was she really born too fast? Or is that just the natural growth rate for piglets? Eevee may have been born so quickly for a much more urgent reason. Peppa's world might be needing new piglets with some urgency, before something serious happens. The curious thing is that both Peppa and George remain children, even after 20 years of the series. It's as if time simply doesn't exist in the city where they live. Have you ever thought about what it would be like to live in a place where no one ages? If time doesn't pass, will they never go extinct? But stop and think with me about this. If time doesn't pass, then how was Eevee Pig born? By the logic of the cartoon, Mummy Pig should be pregnant forever. Does time only stop for those who have already been born? And speaking of Eevee's growth, there's still a big mystery in the air. What will she do in the next episodes? What will her first words be? When will she take her first steps? As a new character, it's expected that her stories will start soon, especially because if she continues to be just a baby, she won't be able to keep up with her siblings in bike rides, soccer, or muddy puddles. Does this mean that Eevee will grow faster than normal? Or will she just stay there, just eating and sleeping? Perhaps her arrival is a sign that time will finally start moving in the series. My brain can't handle this much philosophy anymore. Subscribe to the channel to prevent it from bugging out forever. And now let's look at more theories about this bizarre family. Where did Peppa's red shoes go? In episode 19 of the first season, she gets this new pair from Mummy Pig after losing her old ones. Peppa's choice was a pair of super pretty red shoes, and she spent a good amount of time wearing them. But at the end of the episode, she decides to take off the new shoes and put on her boots. After all, the whole family was going to jump in the mud, and no one wants to get a brand new gift dirty like that. The thing is, after that, these shoes never appear in the series again. Did she lose them? Or did she save them for a special occasion and forget? The mystery is in the air. Have you ever stopped to think why George never spoke normally like Edmund? The little elephant can already express himself very well, but George still only says dinosaur. In fact, that was his first word in the series. But could there be something wrong with him? Maybe not. Richard Rabbit, Rebecca's brother, is also a little boy and speaks the same way. However, in George's case, many people believe there may be a real communication difficulty, but the production has never confirmed anything about it. Will we ever find out what's really behind this mystery? There's a very curious mystery involving Auntie Pig, Chloe and baby Alexander's mother. Have you noticed that she's the only pig in the series who doesn't seem to be part of either of the two main families? We know Daddy Pig's relatives, we know Mummy Pig's, but she doesn't seem to come from either side. And the strangest thing is that, besides Peppa's family, there are practically no other pigs in the cartoon's universe. Where could this aunt have come from? Will the series ever reveal this mystery? Because so far, her origin remains a big question mark. Still on the subject of the new piglets in the series, tell me, is there any chance that Auntie Dottie has a family living in the United States? This character was a bit missing for a while. But does she really live alone? The Pig family has already traveled to America, but they never popped over to visit Mummy Pig's sister. Not even when Peppa went to New York did the two meet. It's almost certain that Auntie Dottie doesn't live alone, because in the cartoon, almost no one appears living without family nearby. So it's very likely that she will appear with her own family on a visit to EVIE in the future. But that might take a while, since even by the Thanksgiving episode, she didn't even know George properly. That's very strange, don't you think?